Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a standout defensive back out of UCLA, of all places. His name is Devin Kirkwood. Nice to have you today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, appreciate having you on. I think really most any professional team would love to have a guy in their secondary with your awesome size, your great experience and such. Do want to get a chance to talk about all these great things, but Devin, go ahead and introduce yourself so we can get going.
My name is Devin Kirkwood. I'm from Inglewood, California. I played at UCLA for all 4 years, and I'm a defensive back.
Cool. Kind of want to walk through your story and start at the beginning and work our way up to right now, of course. Um, talk to me first about, I guess, your history in this game. How long have you played the game of football?
I've played the game since I was 5. I got put into football when I was a younger kid with my because my mom was always at work, and I had all my friends in the playing sports, so I wanted to join football when I was younger and been playing it ever since.
Cool. You always in the secondary, more or less, always been a playmaker. Have you played any other spots on the field?
When I was younger, I didn't really play in the secondary. I played running back, receiver, and like quarterback
All
and
right,
a little
all
bit of
right.
center.
A little bit of center. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, that doesn't look like it's right at all, again, because we're looking at a defensive back who's maybe just a little bit more than 200 pounds. So, I mean, obviously, we're not going to put you on the line at all unless I'm asking you to maybe blitz. But anyways, let's talk about your time in high school. Went to Junipero Serra High School there in the Inglewood area. Talk a little bit about your days in school. Also know that you did some track and field too. Talk about you as a high school athlete.
I say as a high school athlete, I worked out every day. Sometimes during the spring, I go from football practice straight to track practice and be training every day. I got to ground zero. I was a receiver in high school, and then I switched to DB when I started training with ground zero. His name's Anthony Brown and Coach Armand Hawkins. They helped me understand that playing defense is going to help you in the long run at my size. So I didn't get my first offer until my end of my sophomore year of high school, and that was Nevada. They say you never forget your first offer. That was my first offer.
Well, cool.
I
It definitely
played,
wasn't going to be the last. So
yeah.
uh, let's shift gears, man. Let's talk a little bit about this track and field because I mean, you're a very successful track athlete there in high school. Talk about it.
Track. I ran the 400, the 200, and a little bit of the 100. I started running track at Sarah my first year. I was on varsity as a freshman. I went all the way to CIF finals with my senior team. I went to CIF almost every year in track, and I ran almost a 48 in the 400.
Yeah, we're looking at a guy who ran 49 something in the 400, which, dude, that's a really freaking good number in the 400. Maybe perhaps I don't know, were there maybe even some colleges that were sniffing around for some, I don't know, potential offers at the track and for the track and field stuff or no?
Yes, I had a few offers for track. I had a few offers for track, and I ran the 49.3 my sophomore year of high school. I didn't even get to run it my junior year because I opened up my junior year running 49 again, my first track meet. I
Hmm.
was on track to go 47. I wanted to run that.
Well, I mean, it's pretty great number as is, man. 200 meter was pretty good too, 22.6. So, I mean, solid number there as well. Take me into the mindset of a guy who's a track athlete, and also a football player. What do you feel is like the biggest difference between a guy running on a track versus like all the football stuff? Like, how's the training and mindset?
I say the training's the same because you got to give it your all every time. But I say the aspect is in track, it's just you. Like you're the only way you're gonna qualify. But in the football world, you need all 11 players. You need your teammates to help you be successful. That's the only way you gonna make plays based off of how your teammates play.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're passing a baton, and you have maybe three other guys helping you out, it's just you, man. And so you got obviously got to get out of your blocks very, very, very good and set yourself up, with a good solid stride going straight. I mean, we are looking at a guy whose straight line speed is pretty nice if we're being real about it. And then again, we're looking at a guy who's has an exceptional size, 6'4", over 33-inch arms, a lot of great physical attributes that I know a lot of people would love to have. And again, started getting these offers very early on. You said Nevada was your first. You end up being an Under Armour All American. And you're highly recruited, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could have gone almost anywhere. But why did you choose to go the route of UCLA?
Why I chose UCLA was because Coach Chip Kelly, had helped me understand that if whatever you want in life, you're gonna have to earn. So like he told me as a freshman, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to showcase your abilities if you want to play. And when I heard him tell me that, I said that's the type of school I want to play for. That's the type of coach I want to play for. Because that's nothing's given, you gotta earn it.
Yeah, and I mean, Chip Kelly has established himself as really one of the top, coaches at the collegiate level. So, I mean, hell, I mean, it'd be great to play for him for sure. So, you get an
Yes,
opportunity to
sir.
play for him. Played, I guess, these past 4 years, of course, which, bro, we really don't see too often these days in the world of college football. We see guys maybe skipping town, going elsewhere for whatever reason. But obviously, we're looking at a very loyal guy who sticks around as part of that defense. So, talk a little bit about that defense there for UCLA, if you don't mind.
The defense at UCLA, it's great. All my brothers are really good. The coaching is really good too. The scheme we ran was really well. It was based off of everybody eats. If one eats, we all eat. So I get a pick. It's not because I got the interception. It's because my D line got there, forced the pressure, forced him to throw a late ball to where I get an interception, or we had really good coverage in the back end to where the D line to get a sack. It was all based off of playing off of each other and
Yeah,
knowing our strengths and weaknesses.
yeah. I mean, if we're being honest about it, dude, the people up front there at UCLA over the past several years, almost any team would love to have guys like that. I mean, really setting things up for guys like yourself to really take advantage of those things, because you figure if they scare the quarterback enough. They're going to give you guys opportunities where you can go out there and maybe take that ball away. So a lot of great talent, obviously out of UCLA. Any guys there that you kind of want to give a shout out to before we move on?
Femi, Carson Schlesinger, Lot 2 was great. Jay Toya, my boy Kane Madrano, and the Murph twins. They were all great players to play with.
Yeah, I mean, all-star talent, honestly, if we're being real about it. So, again, let's shift gears, man. Let's kind of look at you specifically as a player. A lot of great traits bringing to the table as a prospect this year. Again, we talked about the obvious, of course, you having elite size. But what else about you do you feel separates you from others at your position in this draft?
I would say how aggressive I am at the line of scrimmage when I'm pressing. Me knowing tendencies, reading body language when I'm playing off, and then being a technician. That's what helps me a lot. because I know
Yeah,
I
I mean,
might not be the fastest, but like if I play with my technique, I can.
well, I mean, I feel like the speed is good. I mean, it may not be like, you know, crazy 4.3 speed or something, but I mean, we are looking at a guy whose speed is fairly solid, can run with a lot of people. So let's not discredit you, out the gate. On that, of course, because I mean, again, we are looking at a guy who established himself with a very good track and field background, so could certainly go back to that mentality if we want to. So,
Yes,
um,
sir.
some of the other things that I had to say is we're looking with a guy with a who's very fluid, smooth in his back pedal. And despite the maybe lankier frame, shows fairly decent flexibility as a player. So, as I'm looking at you, I'm looking at a guy who obviously a lot of people would love to have you at the line of scrimmage, being able to press guys, very nicely, utilizing your length, of course, but maybe some other guys want to push you somewhere else. What are scouts telling you these days as you're making that jump to the pros?
Some scouts have told me safety, and some have told me corner.
Fair enough. I mean, a little bit different mentality though, being a corner versus a safety. Can you maybe talk about that? I mean, and what you're able to like bring to the table?
What I'm able to bring to the table at corner, just being a dog, playing. Because at the end of the day, you getting put on that island all day by yourself. So I want to go out there and make plays, shut down a receiver, help out my defense, but also playing safety, staying over top. Because I have so much range. I can track the ball really well and get there, and I can just read tendencies.
Yeah, obviously with a guy, very solid football IQ. Nice to have a guy of your caliber, potentially as a safety at the next level. But I don't know, man. I mean, again, having the ability to do both is certainly nice. Generally speaking, throughout your history there at UCLA, I mean, were you mostly as a corner though? I mean, were you boundary? Were you field? I mean, tell me about how they lined you up.
So at UCLA, I played both. I played the field all my freshman year. Then going into my sophomore year and my end of my year, I just rotated both sides. So I played every side, but mainly my freshman year, I played the field because they said I understood route combinations and understood tendencies.
Gotcha. Let's talk about UCLA this past year. Very interesting things happening, when we're looking at the scope of football. Um, UCLA now in the Big Ten of all places. Very awkward in most people's eyes, of course, with the team moving on to a new conference. Um, maybe some similar faces, but again, a lot of new teams that you're facing against. Talk about this past year and how you guys were able to adjust to, I guess, the new scene there in the Big Ten.
I say how we adjusted was really well going into a new conference and then just coming together as a team. Like we're playing against really good talent every week. So it was like we got to come with our A game every week. In practice, we pushed ourselves every day, and we had to have that mentality like we got to win because everybody's not respecting us because we coming from the Pac-12, so we got to show ourselves.
Um, Certainly a respectable roster there, if we're being honest. I mean, a lot of great talent, of course, coming out of UCLA this year. Um, talk about this past season. What would you say is maybe your best game, maybe best play that we can talk through?
I say my best play this season was against Washington. We was in cover two, and I jammed the receiver inside. The quarterback rolled out the pocket, and I see him. I see the other receiver coming back from the other side, coming into the quarterback's vision. My linebacker Kane is dropping back, and he tips the ball, and I undercut it and pick it, and we run it back. Well, we didn't make it to the end zone, but that was one of my best plays.
Yeah, I mean, obviously had an interception in that game. I was trying to pick out some maybe new competitors that you guys were able to match up against to see if maybe we can chit chat about that matchup. Was thinking maybe that game against Rutgers was pretty close. Ended up being
Yes,
a
it was pretty.
35-32 victory. Talk about that matchup there because I know you had a great pass breakup in that game.
It was really that game was amazing because I gave up 0 catches that game, and I had like 3 targets. 2 of the passes got thrown out of bounds. I wish I had got my hand on it because I could have picked them. I could have picked like 2 of them. But that pass breakup was great because it was on third down and we needed it. And then I say another game also was an Iowa game. I had a sack that game. I had a sack with Kane. Me and Kane had a sack together. Quarterback rolled out the pocket. We was in cover 2. I'm sitting in the flats. The tight end is running in front of me. The quarterback pump fakes it and then tries to run, and me and Kane go make the tackle in the backfield.
That's wild. I mean, again, as a guy playing corner, coming in and making a sack, half sack, maybe perhaps, how they recorded it, but you got to be a sneaky corner to get in there sometimes, or really just get kind of really get off the blocks, so to speak, getting past your guy and getting in the backfield. So nice. Again, I'm looking at a guy 6'4" ish. What's your current weight these days?
197.
So 197. So not quite linebacker weight. So let's throw that out there just so that people know. I tease a little bit because I mean, if you're making these sacks, I mean, I don't know like what people want to do with you at the next level. Make you eat a little bit more. Make you into like a nickel linebacker maybe. But I tease a little bit about that. So don't kill me.
Nah, you
Uh,
good. You
but
good.
Cool, man. So I mean, again, being able to utilize you in a lot of different ways on defense. Obviously, finish out this last year, maybe not exactly how you guys wanted to, but put together a solid performance nonetheless in several games. Ended up having an opportunity to go down to the Tropical Bowl in Florida. A little bit different scenery, of course, from a guy out of Cal. So, talk to me about your experience down there at the Tropical Bowl.
The Tropical Bowl was amazing. I went out there first day, got like 2 PBUs, and then I stood like I came downhill on a run. It was like a play action run to the running back to the flat. I came down, stood him up, and then you see the next day we came out there, the second day of practice. They throw it. We was in cover 2. They throw it to the flat. You see me pick it and run it back for 6.
Mm.
And then I also had a PBU that day.
So
I was
seemingly
and then I
every
was just
practice,
all over the place.
so seemingly every practice you're going out there like you're balling out, like you're making all these great plays. I'm pretty sure you drew the attention of a lot of NFL scouts. How did those one-on-ones go when you had an opportunity to maybe sit down with them and do interviews?
It went really well. Asking about my personality, seeing how I am. That's what had happened, and they was just asking me questions about scheme and football. So I liked it a lot, and it made me feel good because when I went out there, I was just ready. I wanted to show out.
I mean, you did, man. Roundabout number of teams you talked to. You don't necessarily got to give me names or anything, but I mean, give me a good sense of who you talked to out there.
I talked to like 9, 10.
So 9, 10 teams, something like that. It's really good, when you're looking at a guy at an all-star game. But I'm pretty sure you had an opportunity maybe to talk once again to some of those people or to some more scouts at your pro day. Let's talk about how the pro day went for you, man.
The pro day went the pro day went good for me. I benched 13, broad jumped 911 to 10. I verted 35 and I killed position work. Like I looked real fluid and I was in and out my breaks really well.
Cool. Any other, I guess, times where you were able to connect with some people and sit down once again with some interviews or what?
Yes, I had talked to a few teams. I had talked to like 4 or 5 teams that day.
Nice, nice. During all these interviews, man, anybody throw you like some weird question, anything to try and throw you off or what?
No, they just asked me about like my relationship and how I am as a character and how do I see myself as a leader.
Cool. Well, for people that don't know you, man, answer some of those questions for me, man. Talk about your ability to be a leader and just kind of like your character off the field as well.
My ability to be a leader. I like to lead by example. I don't really like to talk about what I'm gonna do. Sometimes I do because like if I feel it, I'm gonna do it. I feel like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say like I'm gonna get a pick, and then I go out there and I'm gonna go get a pick. But I say I like to hold my teammates accountable and just be there for them at all moments. And the type of person I am off the field, I'm a very outgoing person. Uh, I stay to myself a lot too. Also, I hang out with my family and I give back to my community a lot. So that's what I mainly do.
Okay, okay. I do want to dive a little bit more into this and learn more about the guy off the field. So, I want to try and feed a little bit off of what you said, and maybe even ask you some sillier questions. Play along, I guess, is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at. But uh, and first of all, I mean, you had mentioned that you like to give back to the community. Maybe do some stuff for the people. Anything in particular that I don't know you have a passion for, like charity or cause, or I mean, what are some of the things that you've done during your time there at UCLA?
I've done toy drives, food drives. I've done Christmas drives. I've also had did my own camps. I've hosted 2 camps. I've also helped work at a camp, and I've done like giving toys to my mom's to like this kids in the local city in
Okay.
Inglewood around Christmas time.
Cool, cool. Well, Devin, let me ask you some other, maybe perhaps sillier, fun questions for people. Um, Favorite movie?
I say favorite movie Deadpool and Wolverine.
Nice. Some fun stuff there. A lot of great action, of course. You really big
Yes.
into the Marvel movies or what?
Yes, sir. But I'm more into anime. I love anime.
All right, talk about it a little bit, man. What's your anime? Most people are into Naruto. How about you?
I like Naruto, but I'm into solo leveling. It's a new anime that came out, so I like watching that.
All right, all right. Uh, Anime is kind of interesting. Sometimes a lot of people that are into anime like to do things like do some drawing or stuff. Are you into that sort of thing or no?
I'm into playing games that are anime. I'm not into the drawing, but I look like if I see like picture books or anything of them, I like it. Like I'll buy pictures of them, but I wouldn't go like draw 'em.
And what do you mean by games? Let me in a little bit. What sort of games are we talking about? Like
Like
RPG type stuff or what?
like Naruto games. Like it's on a console. I played Naruto, Dragon Ball Z,
All right, all
and
right.
like Pokemon and stuff.
Definitely, this is what we're getting these days, of course, people that are into these sorts of things. So, not necessarily me. I mean, hey, you are you, of course. Let's see. How about music wise, man? I mean, what's in your ear maybe when you're I don't know, getting ready for a game. I mean, you got the iPod in, you got the earbuds and stuff. How do you get your mind right before a game?
It varies. Like in the beginning of the day, I listen to R&B at the beginning before a game. Like before the game get real close to the game, I'm listening to R&B just like it soothes you down, relaxes you. But near like an hour or two before the game, I play I play my rap music to where it's like, okay, it's time for me to turn up. Cause
All
at the end of the day, I don't want to be all hyped before the day. I want to be relaxed.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Obviously, need to be in your element, need to be relaxed. Don't want to, you know, go out there and, maybe only have a few plays in you. You have to be steady throughout the whole game, of course. So, I mean, maybe what do you listen to when you're chilling at home, man? Give me some specific ones.
I say Blast, like some art. He's an artist, LA artist. I listen to Blast. I listen to Bino. I've listened to some SZA. SZA has amazing music.
All right, cool. Nice to learn that. Anything else about yourself that you want to share? Any other fun facts about you or other hobbies, interests, or anything before we wrap things up?
On my free time, I sometimes like to read. That'd be fun. And I love to watch the stars at night. I like to go to the beach, and I just love being with my family. Like that's really all.
That's all good. Yeah, you had mentioned, like reading, of course. Any book that you would recommend?
Uh, I was reading a book about. It was a book about finding yourself. Really, that's what I'm big on. And then sometimes I read like anime books,
All right,
like
nice.
manga.
No, I just didn't know if you had something like next to your bed or something that we could pull out real quick. But but hey, that stuff
Nah.
sounds nice, of course. It sounds like you're into a lot of interesting things. So,
Oh,
um,
but I say one book that UCLA had gave us was the Chop Wood, Carry Water. That book I've read a lot. That's a
nice,
really good
nice.
book.
Um, who you feel is doing it at the elite level at your position in the NFL right now?
Pat Sertan.
Pat Surtain, without question, didn't even hesitate. Had it ready to go. Um,
Pat
well, hey,
Sertan.
Devin, as you I hope to maybe perhaps one day play alongside Sertan. Of course, you and I have been talking as a guy who hopes to hear his name called during the draft. Close us out with your final thoughts as to what makes you a solid prospect in this year's draft and why a team would love to have you. So, close us with your final thought.
I say I'm willing to play any position in the next level. I'm willing to play special teams, and I'm willing to do anything to contribute to the team because I'm a team player and I love to win.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need, of course, is just having that will to go out there and compete and win. Um, Again, we're looking at a player with elite size, playing for a fantastic defense there at UCLA, and has had a great journey, a lot of great reps, of course, in that secondary. Uh, Devin, want to wish you all the best as you pursue your dream, buddy.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Once again, I got Devin Kirkwood, defensive back out of UCLA. Check this guy out this draft.